How to make and write the perfect email in order to play college soccer. I'm the college soccer guy. I've helped hundreds of kids play college soccer, and now let's help you play college soccer. So what should be in your email and how to write it? And that is a really big question and something I think is so important that I actually looked up other people to see what they felt was the right way to write an email. So if you look here, this guy who has 180,000 subscribers was like, and in this particular video has 37,000 views 4 years ago. He hasn't posted in a really long time, but basically he made a video talking about what it is to write the perfect email, and he had his opinion. Now, I'm going to give you my own opinion. We can watch this video in a minute, but here is how you're going to write the correct email. Okay, so you want to write the perfect email. Here's what you first have to understand. What kind of email is it? Okay, when it comes to emails, there's a couple types. Okay, this is the College Soccer Guy Academy, this whole document. This is 96 pages long, and if you work with me, you get the document. And I'm working on something else that would enable you to get this document, even if you don't work with me, but I don't have that yet, but I'm working on it. Having said that, this is the most important part, chapter 3, which is called sending emails. So you have a lot of different emails you could be sending. First of all, you could be having your mass email, okay? And if you do your mass email, it's a certain writing we need to do, which I'll get to. You could be doing a follow-up, right? You haven't heard from the coach. Which type of response should you do for that? You could be doing, you've been in contact with them, but you just want to update them type of email. You could have just heard back and gotten a generic email back from a school, and you're like, how do I even respond to that? So that could be another email. It might be before an ID camp. It might be an after an ID camp. It might be when you cannot attend the camp, but you really would like to. Could be before the showcase. Could be you've been genuine back and forth, and then you're going to a showcase. It could be that you've not heard back from them, but then you're going to a showcase. It could be you've never emailed them before and you're going to a showcase. It could be prior to 10th grade or prior to June 15th of 10th grade. So then you have to write a slightly different email. Could be a showcase follow-up. So after the showcase, you gotta do it. You could be getting ready for a phone call with them. Maybe they didn't pick up the phone and you got to email them again. Maybe you're going on a visit without an invitation. So you're just going to go to the school and you're going to show up anyways for your own academic reasons, but maybe you can set up a meeting with the coach, which we've done which we've done many times. Maybe you have to send a full game video. How do you write that email? Maybe you've already applied and this coach hasn't responded to you or has responded to you, and now you got to make that. What if you want to leverage other schools? Then we have to write it in a slightly different way. What if it's the fall season? Then we have to write it in an even different way, and so on and so forth. And then once we start receiving emails, we have a whole checklist you have to go through. Did they leave their cell phone? How do you stay organized? All these things. So the main question I think you all want to know is how do we write the mass email? I think that's what you guys are all thinking about the most. So let's go over it. So the first thing is you have to have an amazing subject line. Okay, when you write an email, these are people that have emailed me wanting to work with me. I'm only seeing a certain section here. Okay, I only see a certain section. So it's the same thing with a coach. They're not going to see the entire subject line. So with you, we have to be really mindful of what this subject line is going to look like. So, for example, the subject line, if it's really long, it's a problem. So first of all, I always say no names. If you're famous, let's say we have a student now who's well known because he's a very high level player, then you put your name first. But if you're not really well known, your name has no meaning. Now we do need in the subject line because they might search it later. So for now, what I'm going to have you do instead is I'm going to have you probably put whatever's the best. So the best things are if you have a good GPA, if you're tall, if you play ECNL or MLS Next, those are also really good things. If you have a good test score, that's a really good one. And then you got to put your grad year somewhere in there, and then you got to put your position and maybe an accolade, but probably not. So typically, when we're writing an email, the subject line can go the club level, GPA, position, grad year, and maybe one accolade depending, and your full name in case they need to search it later. You don't need to put the school's name in it. Okay, that's waste of space and it's unnecessary. Now, for me to tell you exactly what your subject line should be, and you might say, I can write a subject line. I've written emails before. Maybe your parents have written dozens of emails. They can write a good subject line. I'm telling you right now, if the subject line isn't accurate, especially if you have a slightly delicate scenario, then it could ruin the reason you're not playing college soccer. That's how important the subject line is. Okay, so let's just assume for now your subject line is going to be your club level because you're really good. You have your GPA, your position, your grad year. Maybe you've recently won something. This, again, is not for a showcase, not for an ID camp. If that is the case, here's the good news. Once you make this subject line, Then what you do is you take this subject line, but you just enter in ID camp attendee if you're going to an ID camp, or showcase, and then put the name of the showcase. And then the rest of the email stays the same, or subject line stays the same, assuming you're writing a new email, right, and it's not a reply. Okay, so now you've got your subject line. Let's just say your subject line is good to go. Now let's talk about writing the email. So always, every time, no matter what, this is not up for debate, you always do Dear Coach, okay? Always. You always send it to the head coach and CC everyone else, or each coach individually. Okay, so how do you decide between the two? First of all, the head coach is the boss, so you always send it to the head coach, and you want to CC everyone else. The problem with doing this scenario is sometimes the coaches go, well, the coaches have been copied on it, somebody else will deal with it, right? Because the email's been sent to everybody. On the flip side, if you do it individually, right, and you just send it to each coach individually, which my AI system can do for you, I'll show you that in a minute, then this can be better. And the analogy is, if a poor woman is in the middle of the street saying, help, 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 and there's lots of people around, they did a study on that, nobody helps the woman. Everyone just looks like, oh God. But if she says, you with the blue pants, you with the red shirt, you call 911, you get me a Band-Aid, those people take action. So same thing, we might do it individually, and the AI system, which I'll show you, can totally do that. Okay, so now you've got the beginning of your email. Now, I like to always say something like nice, I hope this finds you well, or I've read and heard great things about you. I've read and heard, but that needs to be true. So say something nice. Then it has to be genuine. Okay, you got to find something genuine. So how do you find something genuine? You could go on the roster, see if you know anybody. You can look up the coach's bio, scroll to the bottom. First thing is you go to the website. Okay, so the first thing I always recommend is look up the schedule. I don't need you to take a long time looking it up. And remember, you're only going to do this for your top schools. So you should have like 25 top schools between each division, or if you're top academic, Division 1 and Division 3. So you should have like a top 50 to 60 schools where you're going to spend time on. But then the rest, which we will also be emailing with the AI system, then can be less genuine. So you've got your main list. So having said that, here 466, 345. So they had a not great season. If they didn't make the tournament, which they did not, then it's a bad season kind of for every school, no matter what. So their season wasn't great. Now let's go to their roster. Maybe you're from California. For example, we have 3 students who are at Pomona Pizza in the last 2 years. So like when I look at the roster, I'm gonna be like, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy. So as we go here and we're just scrolling through and we're just checking everyone out, is there somebody you know, same club team? This is the gentleman that I helped play college soccer here, and we have a testimonial you can go look at later. But he was from Irvine, he's a freshman. You know, you can look and find his Instagram. You can go become friends with them if necessary. So now we get an idea. Now we're gonna go to the coach. Okay, this coach, there was another coach before this, it's changed, and for a variety of different reasons. Okay, so all this stuff is statistics. Just skip it. Just go to the bottom. While with Tottenham, okay, Tottenham, pretty big deal. He was supporting Tottenham. So right away, if you have any British background or if you're a Tottenham fan, perfect, you should say that. If you want to study history, perfect, there's a connection for you. He also was promoted after Thomas College was named New England. 1985 was Far West Coach of the Year. Okay, so there's not a lot there, but if you're a Tottenham fan, that's a pretty good one. Or if you like the Premier League, you go, I really enjoyed reading about the fact that you coached at Tottenham. Okay, then you go look at the other coaches, same concept. Then what I want you to do is go look them up on YouTube, baby. You're going to go look them up on YouTube, and you're going to go Pomona Pitzer Men's Soccer. Now, you're like, I need to do this to impress them. That is true. But you also need to do this because you need to find out if it's a team that plays good soccer, you think they could fit in their system, and also to see like if you like their field. So this game is at Trinity, and this was a bit ago. So like to find out which color they are, which is sometimes really annoying, you have to see who scored. So we're gonna go back here and just see who scored and see who celebrated. So the blue team scored, which is Pomona Pizza. Look at this, watch this goal. Oh, not from there. Not from there. Oh my goodness, what a goal. What a golazo. Okay, so first of all, you can see they're super happy and cheering, and he's going to the coach. So there's a really great team environment. Now, right away, you're going, look, it's on TV. It's professional. This is why college soccer is so legit. This is Division 3. So he scores, amazing, awesome, good work. Now, you ideally want to compliment them on a game that they won, so let's see the end score, and they lose this game. I already knew that they lost. Trinity is traditionally better. But this is the game you clicked on, right? It could take you a while. You could go look at another game. It might take you a while. So one of the things you might say is whatever position you are, just watch a couple of clips where you're going, maybe you can find out the number of the player. If it's hard to tell, if say you're a center back, you can go, I really like the tall left center back. I thought he had some great feet. Now be careful. If he was really bad during this game, that's going to look bad when you say it. So it's worth watching. And you can say, it's always better for you to watch a game that they won. It just is. But having said that, you could say, look, I watched the game against Trinity. I know the result didn't go your way, but I really thought your team had some great moments, which they did. So having said that, that's really helpful. Like, there's a tall striker. If you're a tall, lanky striker, you can like literally relate to him and go, hey, I'm also 6'2", that type of thing. All right, so that's super genuine, right? That's a lot of work. This might have taken you 20 minutes to write this first email. Okay, then here's the next thing. You would say something genuine. So, coach loves Tottenham. Watch your team. I'll fix the typos later. Tottenham. Watched your team against Trinity. Okay, you get the idea. Then, and I really liked per your position. Position is usually the best way to do it. Then you're gonna have an ask. Okay, you gotta have an ask. Every email has to have an ask. And this really varies per person. So it's hard for me to tell the exact answer, but the short answer is usually, are you looking for X position for the class of X? And if you're in 8th to 12th grade, this is a very good question. And then what you're gonna say is, if so, may I attend your ID camp? Now you're probably thinking, I don't want to go to their ID camp if I don't have to. Well, guess what? If you want to get recruited, you got to go to their camp. And they're much more likely to read your email if they know you're willing to pay a little bit of money for their camp and travel, etc. So this is really a bait sentence. This is to say, hey, coach, I'm willing to come to your camp. And because I'm willing, can you will you please look at the rest of the video? So it's a really helpful sentence. Now, you could get away with just this one if you want to, but this is kind of what makes them respond. They're like, oh, he's willing to come to my camp. Well, let me look if he's any good. Let me read his subject line. You know what? I actually quite liked him. Because remember, the coaches do recruit players. Like 90% of recruiting is done through email. So email is how it works. Now, they have to see you in person, but most of recruiting is done through your ability to write fantastic emails. Then you're going to go like this. My name is, and this is where you got to do what we kind of did in the subject line. I play for, if that's like the special part about you. If your GPA is better, put that first. I have a GPA and test SAT, for example. Make sure you put the club level. Okay, you can't skip that part. You can't be like, I play for Joe Stars. You gotta say Joe Stars, EDP, E64. They have to know. Otherwise, if they don't know, they're just gonna skip you. Even if it's not the highest level, at this point, they have to know. If you want to skip it in your subject line, so be it, but do not skip it in this part. My name is, I play for, I have a GPA, SAT. And my name is, I play for, I have a GPA and SAT. Then you would say, I play right position. I play and I have attached my video below. Okay, now you can also add here an accolade. So you can say like, I am on the debate team. This could be academic. It could also be for high school, but only name 1 to 2 accolades. Okay, do not attach a resume. However old you are, you do not have a resume. The only people that need resumes if you're playing for the national team and you've been on trial with professional clubs and you're over the age of 18. Otherwise, there is no resume, right? You've played for a couple club teams. They don't want to know about any of your club teams in the past. Maybe they want to know about 1 or 2 of them, but they don't. So just give them this information. Trust me, less is more in this scenario. 1 to 2 accolades. This can be school related, or you could say ODP, my high school team won, but just say 1 to 2 sentences. They're too long, and because they're too long, the coaches don't read it. So they just want to skim. GPA, okay, test score, okay, he's good, okay, let me see his video, click. And then you're going to put the video here. Then you need a signature. And in your signature, it's very important that you have references. So your coach's name, coach's bio, like title, like director of so-and-so. Ideally, this is like somebody who's related to college soccer in some way, either has helped people play college soccer or something. That is the ideal scenario. References, coach title, coach number. I'll fix the typos later. Coach email. Okay, then you have to have an action photo, your highlight video. You always have to have your highlight video in your signature. In Gmail, you can create an automation where it just puts your signature every time. Your parents will know how to do it. Action photo, highlight video, your email, and your phone. And ideally, you're going to have an Instagram, and hopefully you'll have a Twitter if you're doing things correctly. So that's definitely what we want for you. Okay, so now you've got literally the perfect email to send out. Now, here's the thing. Hopefully, they're going to respond. If your highlight video is good, to 3 things. This is important. If your highlight video is good, you reach out to realistic schools and write the email below. I guarantee you will get responses. Now, guarantee, strong word. It's possible you won't, but When I work with my students, we pretty much always do. And here's one of the secrets we use, and we could potentially give it to you. So this is called the CollegeSoccerGuy AI. Okay, so if you've waited until this moment to watch the video, I appreciate that. CollegeSoccerGuy AI is amazing. I spent so much time and money building this system. Okay, so basically the biggest thing is it connects to your Gmail. Now, if you work with me, not only does it connect to your Gmail, but it will choreograph your Gmail and your account with the schools that I recommended for you and create custom templates for your situation. Having said that, as somebody who's just using it, say generically, you can do it by major. This is connected to my account, so these were the majors that I was thinking about. We do all the majors. We have all the states, we have all the regions, and you get the idea. Now, you can also look by school's name, coach's name, the whole thing. So let's just say we want to email all the Division II schools with biology, okay? So go here, go to biology, and now this is all the D2 schools in biology that I'm recommended to, okay? Because this is connected to my account. If, on the other hand, you're like, hey, I would like every single boys biology team, then you just go all divisions and it will give you all the other coaches. Okay, so this email system is constantly being updated, right? Because there's all these schools that have biology, etc. So let's go back here and let's just say we wanted to do all majors just for simplicity. Let's say you then want to go select all. It will select 100 coaches, okay? You can only send 100 at a time. Then you're gonna click write genuine. Remember that genuine part I told you about? I already wrote something genuine for a couple of these schools. So now you can see something genuine has been written. You're gonna click save. I already saved this. Go back to coaches. Now you're gonna go to write emails, okay? Now, when you go to write emails, this is the part that is freaking amazing. You're gonna go, dear coach, hashtag, right? Dear coach is what we gave you, dear coach. Then you're gonna put hashtag, and it will automatically insert the coach's last name. So Kirkland, McNeil, Guilford. It will automatically do it for you. And it will email each school individually, like we talked about at the beginning of the video. Then you put hashtag genuine, okay? It will automatically insert the genuine part that we made for the coach. If there's nothing genuine, it will just skip it. Then you're gonna copy and paste the template that I gave you, because that's what I did. I gave you that template. And then the subject line, same thing. Will be the subject line I gave you. And then you're gonna press send. And you can do this when you have every touch video updates, showcase updates, ID camp updates, when you send your very full mass email. This is really important in when I do what I do with my kids, because unlike NCSA, unlike Sports Recruits, unlike all those, if you do something like this, which they do have a tool for it, it comes from their account and they hate it. It doesn't work. It really does not work to the same degree. I'm not saying you won't get responses, but they also don't want your profile. Coaches can do one link at a time. They're like deers or simple animals. Give them one piece of food, they'll eat it. You give them a whole profile, they'll be like, I don't know which one to click on. Okay, I'll get back to it later. And then they don't click on anything. You have to give them one at a time. Okay, so at this point, you should know how to write the perfect email. So I have a favor to ask of all of you. The gentleman that inspired this video no longer posts on YouTube, unfortunately for him. I don't know why, but he got 37,000 views. And I think we deserve to beat it and should beat it. And one day I might have that many subscribers. That'd be pretty cool. Please subscribe, follow. If you guys would like the AI system, you can comment below, comment CollegeSoccerGuy AI. But more importantly, if you want to call me, links in the bio, and I'll talk to you soon.